Hello, peace seekers. I spent a few days here by the Gulf celebrating my birthday, but I also came here to step away, reflect, write, and prepare myself, for she carries well, she heals well. And something beautiful happened while I was here. On the morning of my birthday, August 8th, my body woke up at exactly 6:57 a.m. Sunrise. I went outside and watched the sun and the Gulf meet. And there in front of me was this beautiful path of light stretching across the water. What a miraculous morning. I stood there taking it in, grateful for another year, grateful for the journey, and grateful for the peace I have learned to recognize in moments like this. And now I'm back, ready for She Carries Well, She Heals Well, which begins today at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Before my birthday week comes to an end, I wanted to check in one more time with my fellow peace seekers. If you happen to catch me by the Gulf, if you dance Zumba alongside me and some of our other peace seekers, if you've been following this journey from somewhere else, or if you're simply finding me for the first time today, I wish you continued peace and prosperity. I also did quite a bit of writing while I was away. Yay! I completed my second manuscript and I'm almost finished with my third. I cannot wait to share them with the world because so much of what I am writing comes from what I have lived, what I have learned professionally, and what I've witnessed in the lives of people I've had the privilege of walking alongside. But for now, I want to make one final call. Not for every woman, to the woman who has carried well for so long that she may not even realize how much she's carrying anymore. Because interestingly, as I've been talking with women and even some of the men in my life, I've realized something. Sometimes we don't even know when we've become experts at carrying. We just do it. We adapt, we figure it out, we keep moving. People need us and we show up. Some things fall apart, we fix it. Someone needs help and somehow we find a little more to give. And after doing that for years, carrying can begin to feel so normal that we don't recognize the weight anymore. Until something in the body says, enough. Or sometimes the spirit begins asking, what about me? And perhaps that is why I keep returning to one question I want women to ask themselves: at what cost? Maybe you're the woman who carries her family, her career, her responsibilities, the need of people, the needs of people she loves, expectation. You remember the appointments, you solve the problems, you show up, you make sure everybody else is okay. And perhaps you've become so good at carrying that people look at you and think, she's fine, she's strong, she's successful, she's got it together. And maybe you do, but at what cost? At what cost to your body? At what cost to your nervous system? At what cost to your relationships? At what cost to your joy? At what cost to your peace? And maybe most importantly, at what cost to you? Because sometimes we become so identified with being the strong one, the helper, the mother, the professional, the caregiver, the leader, the wife, the daughter, the one everybody can depend on, that somewhere along the way we stop asking, what do I need? Who am I underneath everything I carry? What belongs to me? And what have I been carrying that was never mine? That's where and why I created She Carries Well, She Heals Well. This is not about teaching women how to carry more. You already know how to do that. My goodness. Some of us have earned PhDs in carrying. This is about how well to heal. For 12 weeks, we'll create a space where women can begin paying attention to themselves again. We'll talk about nervous system. We'll explore the body. We'll look at patterns. We'll talk about boundaries. We'll make room for reflection, movement, mindfulness, community, and integrative healing. Because mental health is not somewhere you finally arrive and say, okay, I'm healed, I'm done. Heck no. Mental health is not a destination. It is a way of life. It's learning how to notice yourself, how to return to yourself, how to recognize when your body is telling you this is too much. How to recognize when you're helping from love and when you're helping because you've been conditioned to believe everything is yours to fix. How to rest without believing you failed. How to receive, how to ask for help, how to set boundary and still remain loving, and how to begin separating this happened to me from this is who I am. And we are going to do something else. We're going to excavate the treasure. That feels important enough to say, excavate the treasure. Yes, examine the trauma, understand the protective patterns, recognize your triggers, learn your nervous system, understand your history, connect the dots, grieve what was needing grieving, tell the truth about what happened, set the boundaries, release what was never yours, do the work. But please, don't spend so much time excavating your pain that you forget that maybe treasure buried there too needs to be excavated. Your voice, your wisdom, your creativity, your intuition, your softness, your strength, your faith, your capacity to love, your ability to experience joy, your light, you. Because what happened to you is not the whole story of who you are. There is still treasure. There is still light. There is still body wisdom. There is still spirit. There is still capacity. There is still aliveness. And your path is allowed to be your own. Maybe that's one reason this water has been speaking so deeply to me. Look at it. The gulf keeps moving. Some waves are gentle, some are stronger. Some people stand on the shore, some put their feet in, some go waist-deep, some swim deeper, and I've realized healing can look like that too. You don't have to go into the deep because somebody else went into the deep. You don't have to heal at somebody else's pace. You don't have to become another woman, and you certainly don't have to become me. I don't want women finishing She Carries Well, She Heals Well reading there. I want you to live here yourself, hearing your voice, your own boundaries, your own body, your own relationship with peace, your own next step. That's the work, not dependency, transmission. Because when a woman begins finding peace within her, that peace does not stop with her. It can move into her home, her relationships, her children, her work, and eventually her community. So maybe you're watching this and thinking, Leah, I don't know if I need something like this. I'm not going to try to convince you. Instead, I want you to sit with a few questions. How long have I been carrying? What is your body telling you? When was the last time somebody created space for you without needing something from you? What have you normalized simply because you've survived for it for so long? What might become possible if you didn't have to hold everything together? And at what cost are you continuing the way you've been living? You don't have to answer those questions for me. Answer them for you. Because perhaps there is a version of you underneath all that carry who isn't asking you to become somebody new. Maybe she's simply asking you to come home. She carries well, she heals well. Our 12-week virtual healing experience beginning today at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is my final invitation for this cohort. And if something in you has begun quietly saying, I think it's time. Listen, you don't have to know exactly what healing will look like. You don't have to have everything figured out. Maybe you simply need to recognize the next faithful step. That's something the girls reminded me of. Follow your light. Not because your light knows every answer, but because your light may help you recognize the next step. And perhaps this is yours. Come as you are. Bring what you carry. Bring your questions. Bring the parts of yourself you're still learning. Bring your story, and together, over these 12 weeks, we'll begin making room for something new. You, not just the woman who carries well, the woman who heals well. And if you're ever wondering whether it's possible to come home to yourself after years of carrying what was never using, I've left some markers along the trail. Follow them if they help. Rest when you need to. And when you find your own light, don't stop there. Leave markers for somebody else. This is Leah. Until next time, keep choosing peace. And remember, peacemaker, peace seeker, you do matter.